It's happening right now. This is transpiring, folks. Okay, so, greetings and salutations. It's me, that weird trans that hangs out in the back of class and spouts off about weird shit. If the J-School students who come by the LGBT Resource Center at the end of every semester are any indication, I would guess that we probably aren't doing really great as far as representing queer folks in the media. This isn't a new conversation for anybody. I'm sure you've seen the bitchy Teen Vogue articles that your aunt shares at 2 in the morning. Maybe you're uncomfortable with all this unrefined, fruity business over here because you're used to those trim white gays on TV talking about such strange things as bottoms and toxic hookup culture. What I'm trying to get at here is that nowadays, we're not really getting great representation, or more than just angry editorials or trim gay men appropriating black culture. I'm going to use the next 4 minutes of your time to talk about why Night in the Woods is cool, because it represents different kinds of queer people. It's ambiance, baby. You're not going to get this anywhere else. This is real. This is genuine. I'm real. One of the reasons that Night in the Woods stands out to me as an example, because, well, the three of the four main characters are canonically queer, which is always pretty nice. You're just going to see my hair kind of go from here to here, this entire thing, and you're going to have to be okay with that, because I had to do this to pass this class. I find Greg and Angus's relationship interesting specifically because it illustrates the stress that can come upon a gay couple in a small town in the U.S. For example, Greg opens up towards the end of the game about how he feels insecure in his own relationship with Angus, despite how happy he is in it. That he doesn't, because of his background of being kind of a country kid, he doesn't feel worthy of someone like Angus. Angus's relationship stress comes from the fact that he wants them to move so badly out of Possum Springs to somewhere possibly safer. There was that lovely line about small town kindness only getting you too far. That's real. Now, all this isn't to say that all small towns are always going to be awful towards queer couples. Not all small towns. I don't need to hear about how the tiny Missourian town you came from has 2 whole transes in it and they haven't, been murdered yet. I don't care. What I'm saying is that, on average, small towns tend to be a lot harder for us transes and us queers than most other places. One of the creators of Infinite Fall, Scott Benson, he answered an anonymous question online asking about May's sexuality, and confirms that she is in fact somewhere between bisexual and pansexual, but that it's interesting because even though she can identify her feelings as being attracted to multiple genders, she doesn't have the vocabulary to identify it, but she can identify the feelings themselves. Because of where she lives, there is a scarcity of information that would lead her to having that kind of vocabulary. More of a background character and a bit harder to find, we have Bee's friend Jackie, who, as y'all remember, she is kind of Bee's college party connection. Scott Benson answered another anonymous question asking directly about Jackie, and he confirms that Jackie is transgender, but because of time crunch, he couldn't get into the detail about her life that he wanted to. However, in the Weird Autumn version of Night in the Woods, it's revealed that Jackie has an album that actually I need to share with you verbatim because I cannot ever remember it, but it's also very good. Trans World Order Give Them Hell, which I think is metal as fuck. As a trans woman myself, I would love to see more overt representation of girls like me. However, I'm willing to give Jackie a pass, and by extension Scott, because Scott actually tried, which is wild. I know I've been saying this word all the time. Representation. We get it, whatever. Y'all gays want to be on TV. Y'all have fun. But listen, it's actually really nice. The one time that I saw a femme character with leg hair who was shaving on TV, I cried. So take that to the bank. Okay, so ran out of space. First time round. It's now about 2 hours later. I'd like to argue that all of this is important specifically because of the topic of representation. There's about as many stories and experiences to be heard as there are queer people out there. This is not a new sentiment by any means. The strides of openly queer public figures cannot be overstated. However, when there's only the pretty rich white ones to talk about, there's an issue, because we are more than that. To say that we are best represented by Ellen DeGeneres is a falsity. I mean, like any group of people, my community lives a myriad of lives. While it's impossible to expect to represent everybody equally, effort should still be made to reach out to especially reach out to groups who do not usually get that sort of treatment. I want to see less rich people, rich gays and gays that are on a road trip to fix people's houses and give them cool clothes. We want to see more financially struggling people. We want to see more mentally ill representation. We want to see more people of color. We want to see the lives that we actually live. We want more than Ellen DeGeneres. We want May. We want Angus. We want Greg. We want Jackie. And everyone else in between. That's the long and the short of this video essay. Kind of modeled it after some folks on YouTube that I like. Don't got a lot else to say. Have a good one. Y'all see this shit? I put this on just for the video because I wanted to be as obnoxiously trans as possible. If you misgender me, I will slaughter you like a suckling pig.